All right, I think let us begin the session. Let me just do a very quick intro. GM everyone, GM Biotic everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. Very happy to see everybody back here again for a session of Ecosystem Spotlight. And today we have with us Symbiosis and the co-founder of Symbiosis, Nick Avramov. Very, very happy to have you here with us today. It's an honor to have you here with us today. And of course, our beloved host Edgar, as always, who will be doing the questions, who will be giving out the questions to Nick and going back and forth with him. So really super excited to have this session. Before we kickstart the session, just a quick alpha for everyone. We'll be dropping a surprise, probably like mid session, mid in the middle of the session. So do stay tuned to uh, the chat. Keep listening, stay attentive, and keep dropping your questions for Nick if you have any. Yeah. So without further ado, let me pass on the mic to Edgar. Edgar, please take over.
Thank you, Symbiotic. Thank you. And thank you, Nick, for coming on the AMA. We have these little sessions every 2 weeks, trying to highlight what our ecosystem builders are building, what they're excited about in the space overall. And yeah, like what people should know about their protocol, what's next for their protocol, get people hyped about the future. So yeah, it's great that you come on. I would love if you could just like briefly introduce yourself and introduce what you're building at Symbiosis, just for us, and then we'll dive into some like rapid fire questions.
Yes, definitely. So first of all, thanks for having me today. It's a big pleasure to join you guys. Yes, so my name is Nick. I'm co-founder of Symbiosis. So what we are building, uh, Symbiosis is a cross-chain engine. So we are enabling other like businesses and the users that are using our web app to make cross-chain swaps really easily. So they can swap like native BTC, Tron, Ethereum, different L2s, and so on and so forth with just one click. When we started, it was 2020, and at that time there were no practical solution to do this. Otherwise, using some centralized solutions, and me myself, I'm with a background from centralized public change, and yeah, so our journey is almost 5 years now. So the exact date when we assembled the team to start was August August 2022, 2020. So it's almost 5 years how we are building things. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. So let's dive right into the rapid fire question. It's a kind of
Mhm.
it's a kind of, I guess, tradition that we have on the Symbiotic AMA. We like to ask our host some rapid fire questions, like we a very basic question, and then you can like do like a 1 to 2 minute answer. Are you ready?
Yes, yes, I do.
Perfect. So what's one thing people misunderstand about cross-chain swaps?
That's a good one. So I would say that people tend to think that it's just a swap and several extra steps and so on and so forth. And in reality, it's like I would say that you can compare it to, let's say, translating poetry between different languages. So it's not just a swap like words. You have to preserve meaning, emotion, and so on and so forth. That's pretty much when we're talking about cross-chain swaps. So it's all about not only like swapping one asset into another like cross-chain. You also should to think about gas efficiency. So you need to think about orchestration of all chains, security, routing, and so on for exchange rates, and all that matters. And that's why that's what really makes it a really tough thing to build.
Perfect. In your opinion, what's the most underrated like design architecture for interoperability protocols?
Yeah, that's I would say it's pretty simple minimalism because everyone's trying to build like let's say Swiss knife of interoperability, composability, but sometimes all you need is just a sharp tool and sharp instrument. So the beauty of good design is when you don't notice it. And at Symbiosis we aim to make cross-chain feels like a single chain swaps, and it's not like magic. That's design discipline and sort of commitment from the team.
Nice. If you weren't working on Symbiosis, what would you be building in crypto?
Uh, I was contemplating this like for a while. I would say that probably something equal crazy I would be building, like social network for smart contracts or blockchain native, I don't know, espresso machine that only brews if gas fees are low. But like to put it seriously, I would be building something at the intersection of finance and decentralization, definitely, because like with my background, I'm from academia and I studied finance, and I think that that's definitely would be something about like either swapping assets across chain or security model behind, or maybe securitization or something else.
Gotcha. Um, Another question I would like to ask on top of this one is like, if you weren't working in crypto, in which industry would you be working in?
Mm, that's a good one. So I'm deeply convinced that we should, like, as a society, as a world society, we should deeply invest into space exploration. So, unfortunately, I don't have degree in physics or some related thing, but neither Elon Musk, for instance, does, and that's why I think that I would be trying to build some starships or whatever, or at least to contribute with some knowledge that I have to this interest, because I really think that space exploration is something really underrated currently, and we definitely need to do this just to become like a sort of interplanetary species.
Super cool. Last question. If Symbiosis was a car, what kind would it be?
Mm, that's pretty simple. I would say it would be like either Tesla Model X or maybe some comparable BYD or some comparable like electric vehicle. Because like Tesla Model X, I think it speaks like 20 languages and knows the shortest route between any like anywhere one to anywhere two. And it's slick, smart. You don't need to pop the hood to enjoy the ride. But if you do, you'll find some serious cool zero knowledge engineering under there. And that's pretty much resembling what Symbiosis is.
Perfect. Perfect. Let's dive a bit into like some deeper questions about Symbiosis and its architecture. I would love like if you could remind the audience exactly like what type of interop cross-chain swap protocol Symbiosis is. We've had on like multiple different types of like internet networks, bridges. Where does Symbiosis fit into the global modular and interop picture?
Yes, so I would say that there are like two components of the solution that we have in Symbiosis. So first is smart routing. So we are using different routers on chain to pick up the best price and to enable any-to-any token swaps. And the second is we are pool based, so we have either gas token pools or we have, for instance, Ethereum ETH pools across like different LQs and Ethereum itself. And besides, we also have stablecoin pools. So that's really how we achieve this any-to-any swap functionality. So it's routing plus pool-based architecture. And also from security standpoint, we are using so it's there are like node runners among them, mostly either professional node runners or our investors who need to stake some amount of SAS token, and that's how they can have skin in the game. And that's also a dimension where we are collaborating with you guys with Symbiotic.
Amazing. Yeah, a perfect like transition to like dive into like what essentially like building on top of Symbiotic, like adding shared security into the system like provides for Symbiosis.
Yeah, you mean regarding like the problems, right? So what we are exactly like doing. The thing is, we wanted to, I would say, stop babysitting validators. So with shared security model, the network becomes, let's say, self-enforcing. So bad actors get slashed and good ones get paid. And it's, I would say, the difference between hoping everyone behaves and making sure they do. So because, and we didn't want to like build this on our own, because I would say that it's always better to do what you do best and partner with those who can like back you with their knowledge. And because we didn't want to like really reinventing the wheel, uh, and so Symbiotic already had the infrastructure and credibility and flexibility and composability. So we choose collaboration over duplication, and like yeah, that was the idea.
Amazing. And yeah, maybe touch upon like why did you want to build on top of Symbiotic versus like building like a staking and a slashing function yourself, which would have still like provided economic security.
Yeah, I mean, like for us, it's really important that validators have skin in the game. And votes align incentives, and if you're a validator and you swag, you're not just risking someone else's tokens, you're risking your own future rewards. And so I would say it's like a sort of performance-based bonus, but with teeth. And so while like looking for solutions that can suffice what we have in mind, so we come across you guys and seems like Symbiotic like is building not like just one of the like products in the market, but best of a kind. And that's why we had deep research and we had I think a couple of months of discussion on the model, and we really liked it. And no, I would say that's pretty much simple.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Also would love if you could talk a bit about like the sys token. You guys have like a sys vote, which is your own token in Symbiotic,
Mhm.
also playing a role in the economic security of your network. I would love if you could just like touch upon a little bit like the role that sys plays versus like other assets staked on
Mhm.
Symbiosis and the yeah the I guess like the global like economic relationship that all of these assets play together.
Yes, so sys vote is really like the essential part of our security model. So you can think of it as a sort of security cooperation. So users take SAS token, validators earn rewards, and the networks gain trust. And if something goes wrong, the vote covers losses, and it's like decentralized insurance, I would say, minus the paperwork and fine print. So that's interesting because like typically for the different crypto projects when they have in mind like token rewards or something, it's hard to build like really a sustainable model so that we both have a demand and supply for the token itself. And that's why we managed to do this in a way where sys is essential part of the swaps itself, so that the system is built around ss. And like if you pick it up and like without it it won't be working. And that's why yeah, so this is kind of essential thing.
Okay, now I get it. Also, I have I guess like last question around like staking and slashing is yeah, obviously like understanding like for everybody that might have like ETH delegated or STETH or SYS delegated on a vote to Symbiotic that's allocating to Symbiosis. Could you talk a bit about like the type of like slashing functions
Mhm.
that you may introduce in the future and like the like yeah what in which scenario would you want to like have slashing being triggered and what does it prevent?
Yeah, the kind that makes validators double check everything. So that's the criteria for us that our slashing condition should meet. So we typically slash for downtime, for double spending, for some malicious routing, and so it's pretty much classics. And basically, if it breaks trust, it gets the X. In the future, honestly, it's hard to at this point because just recently we had a pretty much novel update because we moved into our own chain because before that we've been using like some other solution. And now uh, we moved to Symbiosis chain, which is arbitrum based, and so we are still polishing this with our existing validators and so on and so forth. We are mostly concentrate on this. So no more some additional slashing conditions will be applied in the nearest future. But still, we of course we are doing some research on the best practices in the space, and maybe at some point we'll come up like with some more like additions here. But no, like I would say at this point, the slashing conditions is as simple as like downtime, double signing, some malicious routing, and so on.
Absolutely clear. Also, I guess like I'm curious to have like your long-term vision for like what you're building, what you think it will enable to the crypto space in the future, and like how like your design choices will help you win the market versus like other different solutions in the space.
Yes, so let me split this into like two answers. So we deeply believe in shared security, and we think that it means we tap into broader trust in inviting more capital, high validated quality, and all this without building a lonely island of security. It's like joining a security alliance instead of starting your own private army. And so that's where we see like a very deep intrinsic collaboration with Symbiote. As for the future, so from I think from first time when I ever spoke to investors back in days when we raised some funds, I typically said that what I see is that interoperability, cross-chain, and so on and so forth should be as seamless and as, for instance, currently, like if you come on the street and talk to people how internet works, so nobody will tell you about TCP/IP or maybe some geeks would, but it should be. I think that interoperability should be as seamless as TCP/IP protocol. So you don't need to think even like the ideal scenario when you're sending like for instance USDT and you even don't know the like network you're sending from to and so on and so forth. So just like your audio vibrates, for instance. So that's definitely what I see. Plus that's also because like I have background in banking and I know that with open API standards that were present in the UK, I think 10 years ago or something, the boom of different neobanks happened. So, for instance, that's how we see the invention of Revolut. That's how we see N26, new bank in Brazil, and so on and so forth. So, because the sharing data becomes across banks becomes really available and affordable, I would say that's created lots of new business models, and that's what I see how cross-chain and interop can contribute to the creation of novel models in Web3, in crypto, and finance. And hopefully we will see this as well in social stuff as well. I mean, like with the decentralized networks, decentralized messengers, whatever. And all this with deep embedded security without blocking it.
Amazing. Thank you for this answer. I guess like before I end my deep questions, I would love to ask you like where people can find out more about Symbiosis and most importantly, like what is next for Symbiosis and the Symbiotic collaboration.
Yes, so definitely would appreciate if you can subscribe to our and follow us on Twitter and to subscribe to our social like YouTube and so on and so forth. We do a lot of educational videos in the space. Plus, please join our Discord server and Telegram channel because we are also sharing some news there. From our audience, feel free like to text me on DM in Telegram as well. Would love to answer whatever question that you might have. For the like prolonging partnership between Symbiosis and Symbiotic, I would say that this would be like we will be straightening this and just wait for some more cool announcement that are gonna happen in future month.
Amazing. So let me pass back the mic to Symbiotic and Symbiotic will be monitoring the 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 audience's question.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry. All right, that was a really interesting conversation between Nick and Edgar. I really enjoyed it a lot and I really learned a lot. But I do have a question for you if you don't mind, Nick. I always like to ask the same question to most of our, I would say, guests. And the question will be as a retail member or maybe as a community member, how do we go about participating in symbiosis to help grow the ecosystem in terms of like community growth or any form of growth?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say that we hire a lot. So, in case some of our community members have expertise in especially local markets, like with some beautiful descent languages, like I know Indonesian, maybe some other Southeast Asia languages, or Latin America, even though like we have some team members who speaking Spanish, for instance. Me myself, I'm speaking, but we don't have expertise in Portuguese and would love to see people join us as moderators, like community members and so on and so forth, to spread the word about Symbiosis and what we are developing in different markets and different beautiful countries. So just feel free to DM me either here on Discord or via Telegram chat, and would love to talk about like potential role of how one can contribute and how definitely one can enjoy and benefit from this contributing.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for the answer, Nick. So for those of you who are keen to contribute to Symbiosis, to kind of like find out more and to help out more in terms of community and other parts, feel free to just slide into Nick's DM and just have a chat with him. I've also dropped the Twitter of Symbiosis on the chat itself. If you guys are keen, just go there and have a follow. And the Discord is in the website itself. Just head over there and join the Discord. So now I'll be diving into some of the community questions which I have collated earlier on. So I think one of the questions which I also want to find out as well is by Andrew Glorious. He asked, when using various bridge, I often encounter the problem of the Aptos network not being supported. And he also noticed that Symbiosis did not support Aptos. As someone experienced with bridges, can you explain why is Aptos not supported? And do you plan to expand support to new networks, including Aptos?
That's a great question. Thanks so much. So yes, so at the moment we don't support Aptos, and some other like fancy network like Swift, for instance. But we exploring ways to adding them because our approach is pretty much simple. So there are like two criteria for us to add new networks, and currently we support more than 30 networks. So first criteria is naturally the demand from our community. If we feel that people really need this, we definitely add, because like from our perspective, like the even though like there are like myriads of networks and so on and so forth, but people tend to swap like from, I would say, 5 to 6 mostly. So 5 to 6 networks combined, contributing to like something like 80% or 85% of swaps that we are processing like on our website and plus via partners. So that's the first thing, demand. So second thing is security, because like we don't want to deploy something we are not 200% sure it's secure. So definitely we need to have experience in this, either hire new team members or plus, which is also super important, doing security audits, because like of course there are like some teams that can audit every single smart contract and whatever. We are really badly deployed for this. So typically, we working with firms that are specialized in particular like programming language for particular network and so on. So these two things, so first the demand for network and second the security, and how we are like ensured within Symbiosis is super important for us. That's the criteria, what we have in mind while making that. But yes, answering your question regarding Aptos, it's definitely now a roadmap. I cannot honestly promise that we're gonna add it until the end of this year, maybe next one, we'll see. But yes, we are planning to have some more networks adding to Symbiosis, and Aptos 3, they are in our short list.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for the answer. I hope that answers your question, Andrew Glorious. And I am really excited to see what are the other chains that you guys will be supporting really soon as well. So I think there's one more. There are a few more questions. One is by Or that PT. So he asked, is it possible to uh, rotate capital from Vault A on chain X to Vault B on chain Y? And he mentioned that this is tricky and it will involve bridging and certainly swaps. But what he is curious is if it is possible in protocol instead of withdrawing liquidity, bridge to Y, swap and then deposit again the liquidity, basically.
I mean, that's really like deep and interesting question. So I would say like a couple of years ago, we were first on market representing blockchain apps. What does it mean? So for instance, in case you have like gold on, I don't know, Avalanche on some particular lending protocol, and you want to add liquidity, but you don't have AVAX to pay for the gas, you don't have the precise token that you want to deposit and so on and so forth. So that becomes pretty messy, for instance, because you need multiple steps before like putting assets to work for you in this world. And we present blockchains app, but it was 2022, just right after like 3 months after our public payment. And we can like see particular demand for this because like Terra will not crash because the market like stagnating for a reason, stagnated for a reason, and so on and so forth. But we have this functionality in our API. I would say that we are working with several partners and they exploring ways how to use it because once what we have, it's like it's same finalized solution because we can do deposits into vaults, but automating withdrawals and so on and so forth is not yet supported because like once again security like um, um, I would not say problems, but we are not like 100% sure about the security model behind withdrawing. I mean, automated withdrawing. But yes, so it's already like present in our API, and you can take a look in our docs and probably customize it to your needs. In case you want to develop something to manage on a daily basis your funds, uh, please feel free to contact me. We'd love to discuss more details in their messages in Telegram or in Discord.
Awesome, awesome. I hope that answers your question, or that PT. Okay, I think let's take one last question. That's this question is from A Vader. He asks, what's the advantages of Symbiosis over the other uh swapping depths slash bridging depths?
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
uh, is it
That's
low fee or something? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So what really? So I don't want to talk about like fees because mostly in the market we see that it's pretty much comparable and it really varies over time. So from time to time you can enjoy like better fees on Symbiosis or some other protocols, but it's really neglectable. It's like 1% delta or something, so no more. But what really makes so I don't want to talk about fees and so on and so forth. Uh, what really makes us unique is the route that we have. So, for instance, we have native BTC and it's supported by biggest players like Finance, biggest aggregator on the market. So we have BTC, we have Tron, and people like love to swapping like USDT from like I don't know Dawn network, for instance, or Ethereum to Tron, and we see this. So we have like about, I would say, 30% of all swap that we have is swaps to or from Tron. So unique routes, first thing. Second thing, we support any-to-any token swaps. So in case you like you can look at our website and app and see that we can swap like really any from one chain to any from to another chain, not just the as tokens or stable coins. Third thing, we are composable. So it's not like Perching, for instance, where it's not it cannot be like used with a mask or like you need to customize it right, and it's quite tricky to integrate into your existing product and so on and so forth. But Symbiosis, and it's really like big part of our business, is to provide infrastructure for others to build upon. So our API in SDK is pretty much customizable, and that's also makes us pretty much unique. But that's of course it's not from user standpoint, from standpoint of developers. But like we position ourselves as like built by developers and not only for the entries but also for developers. And that's why those three things, so unit crowds and training and developer first approach is what makes us unique.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for the answer. I hope that answers your question, A Vader. So I think there are quite a number of other questions as well, but we have ran out of time. So for those of you who are keen to, uh, for those of you who have more questions and would like to ask Nick please feel free to just slide into his DMs. I believe he'll be able to take your questions, and also do join uh, the Discord as well. The Discord will provide, I would say, resources for you guys to understand Symbiosis more. So, yeah, we have come to the end of today's ecosystem spotlight. But before we truly end, I always have one last final question I want to ask you, to ask everyone, in fact. So, Nick, I would like to squeeze you a little bit more. Is there any last alpha that you would like to share with the community, for those that are here today? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say that it's super important to, and I would say it's super important to emphasize it every single time that security makes like a big, insanely big difference in our space. And that's why, in case you can educate yourself, educate others, and so on and so forth, not your keys, not your assets, and the rest, like pretty much like simple things. And in case you can spread the word about this or educate yourself, like, or use some courses or whatever, together with such an approach, we can make this Web3 space much more safer than it is now. And it's super important, and I really praise our audience to keep it like really seriously. And yeah, that's it. That's the last thing that I wanted to say. And thanks, Symbiotic team. It was really great, beautiful conversation. Would love to think in a couple of months or whatever to see how market changed, and once again have an maybe another AMA session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nick. I'm super excited for what's to come. Edgar, any last words for the community?
Nothing, yeah, nothing crazy. I would just want to reassess that we're very happy to have you on, to have had you on, Nick. It was a great chat, and yeah, let's to the audience. Please stay tuned for the next one. Maybe also some piece of alpha that you might want to know about. We have a podcast dropping on YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, dropping today. Should be in the next hours. There should already be the teasers live on Twitter. So yeah, check it out. I guess like it's the shameless plug at the end of the AMA, but yeah, looking forward to talk to you guys in 2 weeks as well.
I love that. All right. Don't worry. I'll share that on the announcement as well for everyone to not forget about that session. So love it. Okay. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Nick, and also Edgar, for taking your time out to join us today. I know both of you are really busy with work, with all the development, with all the backend stuffs, but then really happy to have you guys here to chat with the audience and to share more with the audience. Thank you both so much. And also to the audience that are here with us today. Thank you guys for being here. I love that everyone is really active and chatting and asking questions. And thank you guys, and I'll see you guys probably next week or in the next 2 weeks. Right? Take care and see
Thank you
you
so
guys
much.
really soon.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Nick.
much.
Take care, Edgar. Take care, everyone. I'll see you guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.